Uh, I don't believe there is, but is anybody going to be declaring conflict of interest or pecuniary interest? No. Okay. I'd like to adopt the minutes from the December 9th and 11th council meetings. As anybody recognize any errors on those? No, no. Can I get somebody to move that? Thank you. And just second, thank you. Action items we went over on Monday. Does anybody have any concerns or comments regarding the action items? So we've had a request the council decision on the conditional use permit for caretaker suite on the light industrial lot. I think we're all pretty familiar with what was going on with this. He has agreed to move the building to be in non-violation of the setbacks and variances. That's correct?
That's correct, yes.
All right. Do we have any comments or concerns on this?
I just have one question, like, is there a time frame?
To move the building?
Yeah,
Yes, he will be working with our development officer and Dawn will be working on that within a reasonable time and before they start using it as a caretaker suite or anything like that, it will be moved. So, so again, any development permit has a 2-week waiting period anyway. So I assume within that 2 weeks that arrangements will be made between the developer and the development officer to have that moved. So it'll just be a pretty seamless once that happens.
awesome, thank you.
Okay.
I had a quick question. Just regarding neighbor to Dawn. Did come in and we couldn't give him a chance to know what's up.
So that was actually the concern with the neighbor that came in was how close the building was to the side yard variance. So that's when Dawn and Merle, the developer, said, okay, that's not gonna happen. And then that's where they agreed to, one, move it away
I
as it should,
understand.
and then that way.
I was here at that when it came in, but and I'm pretty sure the caretaker thing wasn't another thing you stood up for.
So a couple of points of clarification with that. My understanding, he was concerned because it was so close to the other place, but the setbacks are enough that fire spread shouldn't happen. The other consideration for caretaker suites is this is not the first request in the industrial area of caretaker suites, which have been approved before. And as I said, they have moved it within compliance. And those setbacks are for a reason. Obviously, fire access around the buildings, and they are going to comply with that.
So it's Alana here. I have a question. Are they required to move it before this approval goes into effect?
No, if you approve it, that's part of the condition of the development permit is if you approve the caretaker suite, as part of that approval, one, there is a 2-week, if the neighbor still, wants to, there is a 2-week appeal process. That what would happen there is if the neighbor appealed the caretaker suite, then we would have to go to an appeal board. And then it would be delayed until the board.
No, I understand that, but my question is, it's not moved yet. Is that correct?
Correct. And if you look at the briefing note, in discussion with the development officer, they agreed that prior to operating and using it as a caretaker suite, that will be moved, and Director Tacomo, as well as the infrastructure as well as our development officer will ensure that is done before occupancy as a caretaker.
Okay,
suite.
that answers my question. Thank you.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys. It's my opinion that the owners of the building have agreed to obey or with the bylaws. And I think that we should probably move on with this and approve it if possible. Do we have a motion to approve this? Thank you. Motion, Mr. or Councillor Day, and seconded by Councillor Gillis.
And could we just have the motion read out as we're gonna vote on it?
Yeah,
Just
it's
what's the actual motion?
I'm sorry, my fault. Okay, do we have a motion? I'd like to, can we vote? Do we have, please raise your hand if you approve of the motion.
Sorry. Can we have the motion actually read out before we do the vote so we know exactly what we're voting on? Because it's been amended since the original motion.
Yes.
Yep.
Be resolved that Inuvik Town Council hereby approves the following regarding lot 28, block 1355, plan 449 pursuant to zoning bylaw 2583-P plus D-15, a conditional use permit for a caretaker suite as per section 6.92.
Great, thank you.
Problem? All right. All those in favor?
Yes,
Yes.
You got motion passed. Thank you. Okay. To bylaws, item 9-1. Third reading of annual boring bylaw corporate credit card. I think this one, everybody is familiar with at this time. Do we have any concerns or questions on this topic?
No, I'll make the
No.
motion for it.
Thank you, Councillor Barlick. Second, Councillor Day. Okay. Be it resolved that the town of Inuvik hereby gives third reading to bylaw 2744-BORR-24, a bylaw to provide for the borrowing of $250,000 during the year 2025. All in favor?
yes,
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, item 9.2. Third reading of annual borrowing bylaw municipal line of credit. Again, third reading, we should be somewhat familiar with this. The line of credit of 1.5 million that we're looking at. Is there any questions or concerns regarding this? No questions. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Council Merrill, seconded by Council Perot. Be it resolved that town of Inuvik hereby gives third reading to bylaw 2745-BORR-24, a bylaw to provide for the borrowing of $1.5 million during the year 2025. All in favor?
Yes,
Aye.
Motion passed. Right, item 9.3. Third reading, bylaw to acquire commissioner's land, lot 1, group 1355. So this is just about acquiring commissioner's land to expand the cemetery, which is meeting capacity. Is there any questions or concerns on this? Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Thank you, Council Gillis, seconded by Council Day. Be it resolved that the town of Inuvik Council hereby gives third reading to bylaw 2746-LND-24, a bylaw to acquire real property. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Motion passed. Item 9.4. Interim tax billing bylaw 2747 tax 25. So this is a first reading on the bylaw. Cynthia, can you give a little more information on this one, if you don't mind, as you first reading?
So as discussed on Monday, this is an annual bylaw that is passed during the interim budget while we are waiting for the information from MACA in terms of the assessment value from lands from GMWT. So therefore, and we base our tax on what the interim budget is, the ability to, the flexibility to have the final budget, and then if there are any taxes, then a final tax letter goes out. So this is just to get us through until the final budget is passed, which will be in June. And it is no more than 50% of what last year's taxes were.
Thank you, Cynthia. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments on this topic? Okay, and I have approval. Thank you, Councillor Rowe, seconded by Councillor Day. Be resolved that Town of Inuvik Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2747 tax 25 2025 interim tax billing bylaw. Again, sorry, this is motion. There's two motions here.
Yes.
No, we were going to give the second reading. So on the first motion, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Second motion, same topic, second reading. Be resolved that Town of Inuvik Council hereby gives second reading to bylaw 2747 tax 25 2025 interim tax billing bylaw.
I'll make the motion for second reading.
Sorry, Steve?
So I'll make the motion or second it.
Seconded by Councillor Day.
Look at you.
He just moved.
Just waving at them.
Inuvik Town Council hereby gives second reading to bylaw 2747 tax 25 the 2025 interim tax billing bylaw. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Think we are now just moving on to item 11, unless anybody has any questions on the department updates that were given on Monday. Okay, information item. I think Cynthia has a information item.
Yes, so all of you have signed the goodbye, but Eric Bowling, a longstanding reporter with the Inuvik Drum, is leaving Inuvik. And Mickey O'Kane has arranged a goodbye party for him on Friday at 4 p.m. at our Welcome Center, should anybody wish to attend.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, before we move on, is there anything that any of our council ladies would like to bring up? Any comments or concerns at this time?
I have two things just as follow-up.
Okay,
Okay, so one of the council concerns was the intersection at the North Mart Hill and the discussion about having, the street crossing lit. So, Director DeComo and I have discussed the potential and where it would go, so we have a picture of it. We also noticed that one of the lights are out over there, so, he's gonna be contacting NTPC to ensure that that light is fixed, which will add a little bit more light to that. And then we'll determine from there, just looking at where that walk is located, which, electrical pole we can actually tie into. And then we would also have to then source out what type of crossing we would want. Meaning, is it always gonna be a flashing light going, which people eventually will get used to and ignore? Or is it gonna be one of those ones that you press? But we'll have to look into that. But in the interim, we have identified where the crossing is. We're gonna look and see if we can improve the lighting there in the interim. And then we will get that crosswalk investigated and working on it, hopefully sooner than later. Okay, the other one was just with regard to the presentation that was done by Children's First. We've done a little bit more digging. We actually were able to find the original lease and land transfer, because that was one of the questions that they had last night, on Monday night, as well as some clarification with regard to the lease and when the last lease was due. And right now, it looks like they have been paying off the loan that the town provided. So this is the first lease that we are entering into where they're not going to be paying off that loan per se. It'll be what type of lease we're going to enter into with them. So their lawyers, our lawyers are talking about it. We're looking at the original documents from when the center was first built and the land was transferred over. Just to make sure, one, everything is all set, there's no money owing, and then from there, now that that has been addressed, how we are going to move forward with it. So we're just in discussions with them now in terms of really, is it going to be a commercial lease? Is it going to be a 30-year lease and those type of things? And we're just in those discussions now to clarify. Before we enter into that, of course, we're going to be bringing it to council as well to give you an idea and also get a sense of what you as council see that lease looking like. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. In camera items. Okay, thank you. All right, well, we need a motion to adjourn, as this was a quick meeting. All right, moved by Councilor Day.
And everyone else you just asked.
Everybody else, okay. The only one, all right, the result of the regular council meeting be adjourned at about 19.
Bang that gavel, Kendall. Come on. Don't be so gentle.
Great job.